Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to our live broadcast today. And we are going to talk with you about how to make language learning consistent. We haven't had any lives in English for a very long time. And I decided last week that it would be a good idea to finally have it. So today we are discussing a question which is probably the question of an utmost importance for your language learning because most people fail to learn a language not because they are not clever enough and not because they do not have enough time. They simply fail because normally people lack consistency. We get some big idea about something we want to achieve and we want it for some time, but then our interest goes into decline, and finally we stop. So, those people who manage to achieve a high language proficiency only manage to do that because they are consistent enough. So, today we are going to talk about how to make our studies consistent. The problem is that language learning, in many ways, is exactly like losing weight. Is there a chance that you go to bed, wake up in the morning, and you have lost 50 kilos? No, there is no chance. Well, pigs might fly, but in reality, is there a chance that if you only diet once, let's say a month, you will lose weight? No. Is there a chance that you start doing exercises 10 hours a day and you will succeed? No, because there is a big chance that you will hurt and you will have pains and aches all over your body, and this will be your last training session ever. So, what's the solution? The solution is very simple. Do something very little every day. So, the same is with languages. Studying once in a while won't work. Binging study won't work either. So, if you do too little and very, very rarely, you will not get any result. If you do too much at once, you will not get any results either. So, there are three simple things that you can do to really make your studies consistent. And the first one is baby steps. Yes, that sounds boring because, wow, baby steps. We all want something big and glorious and at once. But in reality, baby steps work. So make baby steps. Agree with yourself on what you're going to do every day. And this must be something very small, something that small that it will be stupid not to do it. Like 3 words a day. Yeah, we all want 500 words a day, I know. But make a rule of 3 words a day, or 5 minutes of listening a day, or 10 messages to your language partners. So, something that you will do every day, but something very little. And it would be a good idea to have several language goals like that. Like, for example, for a month, every day I learn 3 words. I listen to 5 minutes of some audio. I exchange 10 messages with my friends, but I do it every day. Another effective strategy is becoming a part of a community. And this is the reason why people who want to lose weight do particularly well if they join a gym. That seems like a very stupid idea, yeah, because, well, we waste our time on commuting, or we can do exercises at home. In reality, we don't need any special equipment to exercise effectively. We can do everything with our body weight. But if we try to do some exercises at home, very often we fail. There are people who do not fail because they are so strong willed and so on, but most people fail. But when they go to a gym, they become a part of a community and they see other people doing the same, and somehow they're influenced by the atmosphere of doing some physical exercises. There is a kind of a culture of a healthy, strong body which affects you. The same happens with languages. If there is no one in your environment who does the same, who really likes languages, who enjoys learning them, it will be very difficult for you because whenever you try to find some time in your busy schedule to learn your three words, there will be somebody in your family saying, why do you need that stupid English at all? There are hundreds of things you can do now. You go and wash the dishes. And you think, well, maybe they're right. I don't really need it. And you stop. But if you have at least one friend who is crazy enough to do the same, and who also tries to find time in his or her daily schedule, you can support each other. And this becomes your culture that you share. If you know a lot of people like that, it's a very good thing because you will support each other. Is it a good idea to join a group class? Well, probably not. Because if you come to have a group class, the bigger the class is, the more levels you have in reality, because each person will have a particular level of knowledge and you will have to adapt and you will waste a lot of time. But being a part of a group where people share the same goals and the same interests and are ready to talk about language learning is a wonderful idea because this will give you the necessary emotional support. You will feel that you are not alone. And finally, tip number three seems to be obvious. This is something that goes without saying, but in reality, we very seldom use this strategy. Reward yourself for success. And this reward can be different. It can be a journey somewhere. It can be buying a book that you have wanted for a long time, or simply doing something that is maybe not so much connected with the languages, but is simply an experience that you want. But rewarding yourself is important. And when we start saying that we don't have any financial opportunities, that's not true. That's bullshit. Because in reality, if you really want it, you will find the money to do it. Agree with yourself that every time you complete your weekly goal, for example, if you manage to study 6 days a week, not even seven, six consistently, and you manage to learn your three words, do your 5 minutes of listening, and exchange 10 messages with your language partners, you will put a small sum into your traveling bank. So you will save a small time of money that you will later use for a trip. This is something I use all the time. Now I'm saving money for traveling to Spain. I really want to go to Spain to visit Madrid, to meet my friends who are living there now, and to spend some time practicing Spanish. So each time I complete my Spanish language goal, unfortunately, that doesn't happen every week, but whenever I manage to complete my language learning goal, I save a little sum that I will further invest in traveling. And this reward makes me more persistent in language learning. So that really works. So these are three simple things that you can do: baby steps, a good community which will give you support, and the rewards you give to yourself. But these three things will really help you to make your language learning consistent. So, thank you, my dear friends, for being with me today. We will stop here. We will call it a day. But I will be waiting for you next week because we're starting a new challenge, a new marathon. We are going to create our successful language learning plan. And I will be waiting for you next week because next week we are going to have several broadcasts devoted to American English. We are going to talk about the differences between the British English variant and American English, and we will see how different they are. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.